Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair, everybody. My name is Wade, and this is my show, Let's Talk Tyranids, where we talk 40k and Tyranids. So, I've covered some of the monsters, and I really do love the monsters. But now it's time to start talking about the little guys, the little jerks. And when I say jerk, I don't really mean it because I love Hormagaunts. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Termagaunts. And the Termagaunt may actually have many advantages over the Hormagaunt. I just like Hormagaunts better. I just do. So let's talk about it, and I'll tell you why I like them, and then you can make up your mind about what you think about the Hormagaunt. So, Hormagaunts come in 10 mans or 20 mans. 20 mans are great, especially, so they're battle line, which means you can have more than 3 of them. Few things are as scary or as demoralizing as that guy that shows up with 100 gaunts. And just goes, yep, gaunts. Deal with it. 100 gaunts is a lot of gaunts. It's a lot of wounds. And I played a very famous game against my 2 friends, which are great players, wonderful, great players, and I brought 120 gaunts. I brought a lot more than that. But 120 gaunts was a big part of my offensive strategy because look at the gaunts, deal with the gaunts, while everything else is getting closer and everything else is getting in your face. So I like gaunts. I don't normally bring 120 gaunts, but on occasion. So what's great about them? Movement 10. Movement 10 is really good. And you can say, Wade, a lot of monsters have movement 10. Why is movement 10 good? Well, they're infantry, so they can go right through buildings. Monsters can't do that. So, movement 10, through buildings, really great. Tough 3, terrible, but they're gaunts. They're the squishy gaunts. They're the little dudes. Okay, and there are some strategies to keep your gaunts alive, so just hear me out. Save 5, it's trash. Oh my goodness, it's so much trash. But if you can get cover, it turns into a 4+. And a lot of weapons are 0 AP or AP1. So I actually get a surprising amount of saves, and I make a surprising amount of saves on gaunts. 1 wound. I mean, this is our base infantry unit. It's battle line. So of course, 1 wound. They're not meant to be tough. They're meant to be swarms. And they work great. Leadership 8. So, keep your gaunts and synops, and you're rolling 3d6 to get that 8. Here is where the gaunt kind of shines. This is a place where the gaunt kind of shines. Objective control 2. So, get yourself 20 gaunts, and then cram as many of them as you can on top of that objective, and odds are you'll control it. Odds are you'll control it. Gaunts are a great way to tie up a unit with a big scary gun. Gaunts are a great way to make a dreadnought sit there for the rest of the game and just try to squish gaunts. There's a lot of strategies that you can use with gaunts. They're very useful and in the right situations formidable, which is part of the reason why I love them. So we talked about their stat block. The 10 movement, super important. Let's go down to the Gaunt Talon. 3 attacks. So, 20 Gaunts has 60 attacks. That ain't nothing. Because you're on the high side of average, which is not terrible. Okay, now Strength 3. Not good. Okay. But AP1 is something. So I always say good, better, best. AP1 is good. AP1 is kind of like the average in 10th. We haven't gotten away yet with power scaling. So, AP1's not terrible in 1 damage. No one was expecting, anything super great out of the Gaunt weapon line. Faction is where it says Synops. That means it benefits from Synops. It doesn't give Synops. You have to have Synops in the keywords line for it to give the 6-inch bubble of Synops. Now, here's one of the coolest parts. Bounding Leap. This unit is eligible to declare charge in a turn in which it advanced. Alright. So you're moving for 10. You're advancing for 3 on the low side of average, 4 on the high side of average, and then you can charge. So 40 gaunts that move 13 and then charge. Yeah, you can get lots of stuff done with that. And the reason why I say 40 is it's super scary. The more you put together, the scarier it gets. Because if you do the math hammer, at a certain point in time, your enemy doesn't have enough guns to shoot them all and inflict enough wounds. And there's ways to maximize on that. Okay, so a couple of other things I want to point out is if you look down in the keyword line, they are an endless multitude unit, and that does become important. So I make all these from the perspective of invasion fleet. It is my my fleet of choice. So usually I go with swarming tactics. So keep in mind that any rolls of a 6 will create an additional hit. I usually create additional hits because if you're rolling 60 dice, you're gonna get some 6s in there. Great stratagems to use. Sorry, and Swarming Instincts only works against infantry models, so it doesn't work against vehicles. Keep that in mind. Some great stratagems to use. Rapid Regeneration is awesome. Keep them in Synapse. I use a Neuro Tyrant often, because keep in mind, he can choose to put his little Nautiloid thingies 18 inches away on a unit, 18 inches away, and that goes through walls, that goes through obstacles, ruins, all kinds of stuff. So I can keep 2 20-man gaunts in Synapse with 1 Neuro Tyrant hiding behind a wall that nobody can see and nobody can shoot and nobody can draw a line of sight to. It's wonderful. Okay, I can keep 2 20-mans in Synapse. Rapid Regeneration is great because you're going to save some gaunts. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind it gets better if you're inside of Synapse. Like I was just talking about. You can get a free one per turn, not per round, not just on your turn. A free Rapid Regeneration per turn. Your turn, your enemy's turn. Your turn, your enemy's turn. With a walking Hive Tyrant. Keep that in mind. It's usually how I pull that off. One of my favorite things to do with gaunts is to do Endless Swarm. So with Endless Swarm, keep in mind, you can target 1 Endless Multitude unit or 2 that are in Synapse. So like I was telling you with my Neuro Tyrant, Neuro Tyrant keeps both of those units in Synapse. He kind of like bodyguards them or babysits them. And with gaunts, it's definitely babysitting. The thing about gaunts is the model is so small, which might make you think that they're like dogs. But keep in mind, Space Marines are supposed to be so big that gaunts in many of the novels are like small horses. So keep that in mind, like a big Shetland pony. Anyways, you can target 2 Endless Multitude units with this one stratagem for 1 CP, Endless Swarm, and here's the deal. You can target 2 Endless Swarm units. Each one of those gets a D3 plus 3 back. So you're getting 6. If you target 2 units, you're getting 6 guaranteed. And then on average, you're going to get 10. So each one's going to get 5 back. So your enemy pumps a bunch of shots into both of these, kills, 10 gaunts, and you get 5 back. And then next turn, maybe they don't have the ability to focus on it so much, and then you get more back, and then before you know it, these squads are up to full. So these squads are going to draw fire. It's a great strategy, and then they're going to come back. I have lots of squads of gaunts, Hormagaunts. Keep something busy in melee combat. They can't win it. They're never going to win it. But keep something busy in combat, tying it up. They surround it. And then I just keep on using the stratagem and bring more back. And bring more back, and bring more back. And it gets inside your enemy's head, it frustrates them, and it makes them worry about something that's not really worth worrying about. It kind of becomes worth worrying about. But, I do think that there's a lot of cool things that you could do with Unending Swarm as a detachment. But I always, like I said, I go with Invasion Fleet. I love Hormagaunts, and I love sharing it with you guys. We here at the Dragon's Lair understand that you could spend your time anywhere on the internet, so we want to say thank you for spending your time here with us at the Dragon's Lair.